sibling policy in place, those names would have been put to the forefront. However, it's not there, and then the concern becomes preferential treatment and those kind of things, so we just did it as fairly as possible.
Right, if either you or Bill do that, then that's really not kosher, because that's not the way it's been done.
We
And
talk
it does
about-
seem like, right.
Actually, this was the first at Little, we've never had a lottery. We either just made the 22 cutoff, or I may have gotten a 23rd or a 24th, put them on a list, and then there's usually in the summer, someone gives up their spot or whatever, so I've always been able to accommodate. This is the first year when I had 32 people, but 22 slots. And, you know, we put everyone's, you know, it doesn't, everyone has a special situation, you know, it's some that are very valid, but it has to be consistent. And, you know, Judy and I sat there with all the names in the hat, and as God is my judge, the ones that, you know, she wouldn't let me lie anyway, but you know, the ones that came up in the order, you know, I'm not big on giving people their numbers and things like that, but we called the first 18 because we saved spots in case there are students down the pike on IEPs that the program is going to necessitate that, or they'll be going out of the system to the tune of many dollars. And then when we get that piece, we filled up the slots. And I have my list, and if someone gives one up or decides that they're going to half day instead, we go to the next person on the list. So, I mean, the school committee sets policy, and I don't recommend it, but if you set a policy, certainly will be followed by future administrators.
We spend a lot of time, we actually had a parent present as well for our lottery piece, just to, you know.
And we're sympathetic, if you look at our school, it's a whole school to Stonehenge.
I think the frightening thing is that you have 32 kids at the Little School for full-day kindergarten this year. That's a little scary, because we're able to get all the kids into the full day there, so.
And, you know, there are other programs over the years that are system or district programs, like students in a special ed language program, which you can't have one in each school. It just doesn't make fiscal sense. And so, as much as you know, we don't like giving up our children to go to another school, quite frankly, if that language, if a child is recommended for that language class, when we used to have both language classes at my school, you know, they will go, if it's recommended by the team, they sort of not begrudgingly, because they know it's best for their kid, but no one wants to leave their home school. But, you know.
It's just for 1 year, correct? They come back first grade?
For kindergarten, yes.
Yes. Well, my older child was registered for preschool. I mean, this is when the preschools were in 3, and this is not a preschool issue, but he went to the little school for the first year, and I loved the little school.
We always had all the
Right.
preschools.
Well,
right.
there was a hood space for him, but there was a hood preschool at the time, but at that time, so they moved him to the little, because there wasn't room at the hood preschool at the time. And he was my older child. I didn't even know the difference that I was driving 15 minutes because I was on the other side of town. When it's not the greatest situation, but when it's your older child and you're not splitting up families to go to 2 different schools, it's not the end, well, not that this is the end of the world, but I mean, it's not logistically a nightmare when you're only redistricting one child. When you've got to split the 2 families into 2 different schools, I mean, I can go through a list of why, but we're not going to, the point is that someone's going to be unhappy about it. Someone's not going to be psyched about leaving their home school, but when you're splitting up the families, it adds another 50 pieces to it that makes it logistically nightmarish for not only the parents but the school and the kids and everything else. And I think that was the part that we're trying to, if you've got room for every kid, if we've accepted that fact that you're going to make the extra space, then let's do the prioritization, which says first you put the siblings there, then you do a lottery, and the lottery is really just for location. It's not for whether you get into the school, but it's for location, and that first whatever many kids gets into their home school, and the rest of those kids get redistricted so that you're not splitting up families.
Any other comments, sir?
Yeah, I think, you know, we understand what the issue is, and although Mr. Venezia doesn't think we need a policy for it, we'll see what we can come up with for a policy or some sort of direction, not something that will attempt to fix it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if this is as much a policy thing as it is an administrative decision. It just seems to make sense to me that if you have enough kids coming to the school who don't have siblings, who are offset by those who do have siblings, that you would keep the kids with the siblings in
I
the school.
think that should be a consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any way we can charge a fee for this?
$500, $1,000.
Dr. Manville will study
We-
it, back to us.
So, anybody else? Michael?
No, I agree with you, Mel.
Yes.
I think it just makes common sense to keep the siblings together.
Yeah.
I have 2 children in the hood school, and I would not want to split them up and drive back and forth. And I think it's unfair because that child's going to start in first grade, with a whole new set of teachers, a whole new cafeteria.
Well, that's true of
a whole
any
new
kid,
building.
regardless, though. That argument is such that
Right.
the other
But
kid
it's
that
in-
doesn't have a sibling is gonna be in the same boat, so.
It is,
You know, it's
but-
more the convenience of the parent.
At some point, they're gonna be in different schools. You're gonna have a kid in the
Yeah, right.
middle school.
Middle school.
Right.
But that's a whole lot different age
We're
bracket,
talking about
and
5
they're
and
much more
6-year-olds too,
capable
you know,
of
it's a little
dealing
bit different when
with
they're
this.
that
Yeah.
that age, you know, 5 and 6 is a little bit less apt to handle a transformation than a 7 or 8-year-old. You know, it's.
So again, I don't like that argument, only because somebody's gotta go. If you
No,
make
I
the
understand,
argument
I
that
understand.
it's- Keep them together makes sense because it's inconvenient for the families, that's one thing, but
Right.
somebody's gonna move, so whoever it is,
It is also
it's.
the kid, I mean, I will not by any means belittle the fact that it's parent involved, you know, parents' convenience,
That
but
was
it's
good,
also.
belittle.
I mean, I know, be
Belittle.
belittle,
Be
whatever
good, yeah.
you wanna do. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, I mean, my younger son has now been going to the hood for 3 years, pick up and drop off. The teachers say to him every time we go, when are you coming? When are you coming? I drop him off. Mr. McKay knows my 5-year-old. I mean, all the teachers there, he knows the school, he's extremely comfortable there. To now send him to the batch for a year, I know someone's gonna have to do it, but this is somebody through open houses and everything else knows the teachers, the school, the situation, everything.
Just leave them at home.
Oh, I forgot about that. Are you gonna watch him? Will you come over?
So
Come
at
take
this
him
point,
over.
I'm gonna close this. We will
Yeah,
take
that's
this
fine.
That's fine.
advisement. To be honest, I don't know if anything can be done for this year. I think it's a very valid
Good point.
concern, and I do think that it's something that either a school committee policy or the administration should look at. And I also think that Mr. Lasise and Mr. McKay this year followed the protocol that we followed all along, and I think they had to do that, because we just can't, without either the administration being Dr. Manville or the school committee saying we're changing how we do things, I don't think that they were in a position to do that. So I think that the way they handled it this year is the way we always have, but you don't have to keep doing something the way you always have. So we'll take it under advisement, and either the administration or the school committee will look into it. But thank you for bringing it to us. Thanks.
Thanks.
I think we're going to move the agenda around, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna recommend, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman, that, because we have a bunch of other people here, let's go to new business, and if it's at the committee.
Number 2.
Yes, please, number 2 in new business, if the committee agrees to take
Is
it out
everybody
of
okay with
order.
that?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I have 8, yes, go ahead.
No, we should do our student report first, and then we'll move to item 2 under new business. So we have John Murray here for a student report.
Evening, everyone. It's your favorite part, I know. Student report, I don't have too much, but I'll try to get through it. There's math MCAS for sophomores on the 17th and 18th. The senior trip is this weekend. They're going whitewater rafting. There's AP exams, started last week and they continue through this week. I had AP US last Friday. It was a lot of fun, and I have AP Chem tomorrow. The NHS induction is this Thursday night. Junior prom is this Friday at Hillview. We have 243 people going. Wow, big crowd. It's going to be fun. Student recognition night is the 20th of this month, as well, or I should say, in the NHS blood drive is the 21st. There's a fundraiser at the Horseshoe on the 17th for CSF, and the tickets are at the high school. Senior prom is June 7th. The spring concert for the band, jazz band, chorus, that's on May 27th. There was an Alliance benefit concert last Saturday night for the Invisible Children Foundation, which was, they had an assembly a couple weeks ago about the children in Uganda that are taken into the militias, and that was kind of that charity. There was an Interact eMark dance last Friday, and there was a meeting today during Power Block, as well as Thursday at 2:45 and at 7 for people interested in going to Costa Rica next year over February break. And that's open up to 8th graders as well. And my student work, some of you may already know this project. If not, I'll be sure to explain it. APUS, after you're done with the tests, you're not restricted to the curriculum, if you will. You're not studying for the tests. So we do, the teacher, Mr. Emerton, does APUSH Hall of Fame. And basically, you have to pick a historical figure from American history and write a paper on them and act them out. Do a skit, do a 5-minute monologue, whatever it is. They have to be influential. They have to have affected social, economic, political. They've had to have some influence in American history. I am doing my favorite singer, Frank Sinatra. That's who I am doing. But last year it ranged from George Washington to Teddy Roosevelt to Hugh Hefner. Someone did Hugh Hefner. This year we have a Michael Jackson. We have a Joe McCarthy. I'm doing Frank Sinatra, like I said.
Any women?
Anyone, you know, there was.
You said historical significance.
Yeah.
Man, my iPhone might actually do some
I
damage.
think someone's doing Catherine Hepburn.
Oh, excellent. All right.
But basically, you have to write a 3-4 page paper. You have to become an expert on this person, and at the end of your little skit or whatever you want to call it, the classmates induct you. So you get voted on. If you're that good, you're inducted into the Hall of Fame, and your name is put up on the wall, like that. So it's interesting. You have to do a lot of research, a lot of American history, which I like, and I thought it was a fun project. So.
Frank Sinatra was the theme on American Idol last week.
You know, I wasn't too. I don't watch American Idol, and they told me it was, and I watched it. I'm a
See,
stickler for my
He
blue
doesn't
eyes.
watch it, Mr. Venezia.
Yeah, and they had Harry Connick Jr. on singing Frank
He
Sinatra
was-
songs.
he was good.
Bass. I think there's one other event on June 3rd, I think, is the variety show that the
Yes.
Maskers is putting on.
The
70s
variety show.
Right, 70s variety
I
show.
believe it's-
Right.
I missed that.
And this assignment is great that Mr. Emerton does for AP US History.
A lot.
A lot of creativity from the kids. So this is our last time we'll see you maybe before the end of the school year?
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, great.
The feeling's mutual, right?
No, this is my last time, and maybe next year.
All right.
We'll see. Depends on the
great.
elections.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Have a good summer.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Okay, so next we're going to move to item 2 under new business, which is the 5th grade film discussion. Dr. Manville, do you want to kind of get into this, because you had sent an explanation around to the school
Sure.
committees, and I know also that Mr. Bowers has seen the film, and I think he has some good comments to make on it, but I'll let you start.
Sure. Is there going to be a spokesperson for the group, or is everybody coming? I mean, you're all invited to come up to the
Right.
table here.
There's a pro and a con side, yeah.
Okay. You represent the...
Pro. Pecan.
Okay. While you figure that out. No, I know.
Argue against himself.
We after a 2 or 3 year hiatus, resurrected the 5th grade. 4 years, I beg your pardon, okay, 4 years. We brought back the 5th grade program that deals with kids reaching puberty. And there are 2 parts of this program. One is that the parents get a chance to preview the program before the kids see it. And if they decide they don't want their children to see it, there's an opt-out. We don't force them to do it. They can say, let the school know they don't want their child to see this, and we put in an alternative activity. The tape actually was previewed twice. The first one was at the little school, I believe a week ago today. Was it here? I'm sorry. It was at the middle school a week ago today, and the second one was Tuesday night because there were some conflicts with Monday. I don't mean to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think for the most part, most people felt that the tape was appropriate up to the final 3 or 4 minutes of the tape that is shown to the boys. And there was a part of that tape right at the end that deals with sexuality. And there's a guy leading the discussion, and basically he says that there are times when people, for lack of a better way to put it, touch themselves to relieve sexual tension. It's called masturbation. It's normal. Don't worry about it. And he went on to the next thing. That is in the boys' tape. It's been edited out of the tape that the girls see. And that caused a problem. There were issues raised about that. Then there were other things about, Dr. Troughton had taken the reason that there was this long hiatus